God bless you. So we're looking at the system that's coming. Are you prepared? Are you aware? Do you know the stages of what is warned in the Bible that coincide with what we're seeing out here in this world today? Them speaking of their one world government, how they seek a one world leader to lead them. Or as Charles said at the Economic Forum, about one man that has trillions at his fingertips. One person with all power, all authority at his fingertips. Who is he? So we know a one world leader and a one world religion. And you know this has been formed. They are forming it still, bringing it to the world. It's been signed. It's been accepted. And you can see them speaking about its laws and how it supersedes all those that have their religions. As it says in its own document, a person that adheres to their faith and its teachings, they must be rejected. So a person that holds to the Bible by their one world religion that the popes helped make, remember, you know a tree by its fruits and its deeds, and you can look him up and you'll find many fruits and many deeds by him. You understand what I speak. They are forming, and it is coming. And you know they're looking for a cashless society. More and more shops, more and more businesses, more and more companies relying on a swipe of a little card. More and more companies saying, just get your phone and use your QR code. And more companies, where more and more people now, they're starting to look at the convenience of a tiny little chip that they just stick in their hand. And you know, recently, the man who likes computers, his surname is Gates, he recently just put in a further 200 million into the funding of a chip. Remember a chip he spoke of in 2020? Its patent was 3 6s. And he said you'd have to have this chip. It would have your biometric details, the proof of who you are, where you live, your medical records to prove you'd had a certain something, and also your bank account. And if you did not have this chip, you wouldn't be able to prove who you were. You wouldn't be able to prove your medical records of how many of a certain something you would have taken. And he said without it, you won't be able to enter shops to buy or sell. Does it all sound a little bit familiar? One world government, a one world leader, a one world religion, a one world currency. Well, let's go have a look in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. This is the one that makes war with the saints. And what does he do? And to overcome them. He's not only going to make war with the saints, he'll overcome. He will win. Only in the flesh. Only in the world. Not in the kingdom. For you have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So fear not he that can only destroy body, but he that can destroy both body and soul in hell. And what happens? This one man, what does he have? And power was given unto him. And it's over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So that means his power is over all nations, over all tongues, over all kindreds. Now the word kindreds, you'll find, where are we? Here we go, Strong's. You'll find this word, kindreds, and it is to do with peoples, with race, with nations, with tribes, with clans. So if we go across, continuing in this word, kindreds, family, clan, people. Now in the English, we have to find the correct one for Revelation 13:7, and that number in the Greek will be 5443, race or clan. And then we'll go across and we'll find 5443. So then we go from the English word and we come across to the Greek section, and we will find this word, kindreds, just to make sure that we're doing all we can to learn as much as we can while we can, so that we are not deceived, that we are not taken unaware. So 5443, Fule, from 543, an offshoot, i.e. a race, a clan, kindred, tribe, a company of people united by kinship and habitation, or clan and tribe, is used of all peoples of earth. And then a list of verses for that. Then it also says, look to 5444. So then 5444 just below says, from the same as 5443, i.e. a sprout, a leaf. Now I thought it was interesting that it also brought up this bit about a sprout and a leaf. From a branch comes leaves. From a sprout, something shoots forth, something grows from. And with everything we're watching in the schools, the education, and now it's being put into law in certain nations, and you can find out for your own nations, for each and every one of you, because it would take me forever to find them all, and I am but one man. But they are putting, you know, when your little ones are born and you have to inoculate your little ones from certain things, and they have to put it in a baby, in its arm, you understand? Well, that one that came in 2020, that's added to the list of the newborn now. Do you understand? That's now a requirement of inoculation. He has power, he has authority over all tribes, all nations, all tongues. Tongues, every nation. Think of every country in the world and everyone speaks many different languages. He'll have authority and rule there. He'll have power there. And the little ones, and what happens to the little ones? And how we see in the end times, love grows cold. Well, how does it grow cold? People are taught to be cold. People are taught to be selfish. They're taught to believe in what they're teaching in this narrative. And if our little ones, and we don't teach them correctly, they'll follow the narrative. They will accept what they're taught, even though it's in opposition of God. Telling you to be ashamed of yourself, depending on complexion. Telling yourself that you're privileged because of complexion. Telling you that you are inferior because of complexion. It's to create, divide and conquer. People who believe whatever they're taught. Student becomes like teacher. If your teacher is corrupt, then you will become corrupt. But if your teacher is Jesus Christ, then you will walk as Jesus Christ. For if we are to follow him, we are to walk as him. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Not any of these teachers in today's schools with their multicolours. All the corruption is in the church for all to see now. If they're not adhering to Christ, then they're following the authority of man in the world. This is the war against the saints. It's only just beginning. Trying to corrupt, to bring a great falling away, to bring everyone to corruption, deceit, wickedness, perversion, sin, lust, desire. There's no goodness in it. And they start with the little ones. Now, we're going to look also now at Revelation 13 still. But if you come down a few verses, because remember, this one world leader that will come, there's going to be a one world currency. Without it, you can't buy or sell. And the little man that likes computers and wears glasses with the name Gates and all his work on that chip, he says you won't be able to buy or sell without it. And then everyone who's liking a man whose surname is like an aftershave, Musk, and he works with computers and cars that need electric to run, don't trust. Did you not see his Halloween costume with the Baphomet and the upside down cross on its head? He is New World Order. He is a part of the system. Do not be deceived. This buyout of a certain tweet is for something else. If everyone signs up because he has it, everyone's regulated. Everyone's seen, everyone is watched. Oh, freely speak as you will. But there will be a corner where they write down everything you speak. And the ones that bring dissension will be the ones that disappear. They've been doing a lot of work for a lot of years. There was a reason why, over 20 years ago now, from my memory, they brought the law in. All the churches had to take the names, the addresses, the numbers of every parishioner that enters. I remember that, and I never forgot it when I once went to visit a church during all of this. They were most insistent for my name and address and everything else. And I'd never ever even been before. They barely even allowed me in without it. You know them by their fruits, by their deeds. The thing is, by law, they're not actually allowed to speak about that. You can look that up. The more you know, the more you cannot unknow. There's going to be a great falling away. It's coming. But those that know God will do exploits. They know God and they will trust in him. They won't conform to all this. Jesus first, not the world. Love God with all your heart, mind and strength. And love everyone as yourself. So, as I was saying with Revelation 13, if you come down about everyone, as Tobiah says, and he causeth all. Now when it says all, it means all, both small and great. Now in translation for small and great, it's young and old, little and big, adult and child. So everyone has to have this. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You'll know your enemy by their signs and their symbols, by their deeds and their actions. They don't hide it. So you know there's a chip with a pattern for 666. You know the word for crown in Latin. is corona. So crown in Latin is corona, and corona in numerology is 666. All these things are interlinked. There's far more going on. Because he says if you can't prove you've had that, because you don't have his chip that will be able to prove that you've had your you-know-what, you won't be able to buy or sell. All these things are pieces of the same puzzle. It's all coming together. Now the little ones that will be born from now on, their inoculations will include it. All these things they're doing. So, there will be a leader, and he will have power over all peoples, nations, races, young and old. And you also know that this will all be all the nations that will give their power unto the beast. So it'll be a one world government. And they will reign with him 1 hour. This beast and his great authority. And from here, let's look at Revelation 13:2. What does it describe? And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, who remembers 2021? Do you remember outside a certain building? I believe it was Rothschild. They had a dragon put outside it 3 weeks before outside the UN they had a beast statue put out. Now, you'll know the enemy by their signs and their symbols. Those that don't know their signs and symbols won't be aware. But those that are will know. Now, I previously had done a video on this image, so if I can find it quickly, which I believe I can. Come on, turn. How do you make these things turn? Technology is not my specialty. Aha! Do you remember when this appeared? Now, I did a video going into the paws. You see, as a leopard, but look at that big strong mouth. And those wings. Now, this isn't a very good angle for me to get the picture, but the feet, they don't match a leopard's feet. And in the video I'd previously done, I'd shown images of leopard's feet, and I showed images of bear's feet. Whose feet do you think that statue's feet matched? Exactly. You'll know them by their signs and their symbols. All these nations and all these powers that have authority, well, we know they're all kingdoms. Because in Daniel chapter 7, let's find Daniel, shall we? And what does Daniel have to say on the subject? Let's find out. And it's going to be verses 4 to 7. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong, exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. Now you know that there will be 3 horns that will be plucked out to make way for a little horn. So keep your eyes open, keep watching. Something big is coming. We are not far off. Don't know how many are aware of the current chatter that Russia has announced that the attack on the Nord pipeline, and who they believe they have evidence proving committed the bombing of it. Now you know, if you were to attack another nation, it's an act of war. Well, they're saying that it is the UK that did it, the United Kingdom. It seems they intercepted a message, a text message, 60 seconds directly after the alarm went off, saying that the pressure and the power had dramatically lowered and stopped on the pipe stream, which would mean something was wrong, a rupture of some sort. 60 seconds within that, the woman that was the female prime minister for a short time had sent a text message to the USA, to their Minister of Defense, saying, "It is done." That is all there was written. It is done. And now she's no longer leader and someone else is. And they're saying this is proof of it. And you know, in February, the creepy sleepy, he likes to sniff the little ones. He said, do not worry, it will be taken care of. That they would stop it and there would be an end to it. So, we know they were in collusion with each other over it. Now it's to see what comes next. Signs and symbols. Things are coming to pass. Now, you see these kingdoms and their nations by their signs and their symbols. And all these things that are coming. On top of this, you know everyone's talking about a new world order. And from that, you know there is the false prophet that will have it that all will worship the beast that survived from his death blow. So back to Revelation 13. And into Revelation 13 we go back. And now, verse 8. What does it say? And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. They're all going to worship him, all those whose names are not in the book. Remember, just like Mordecai, who never bowed to Haman, you bow to God alone. You do not bend the knee, but to God alone. For every knee shall bow. All of this, we were oppressed, you should bend the knee in homage. No. Simple. No. Oh, you must worship the golden statue. The book of Daniel chapter 3. Well, guess what? 3 people didn't. No. And they said, whether God deliver us or not, we ain't bowing. Simple as. Of course, the king was very angry at this, and he wanted it to be 7 times hotter. Then they were bound and thrown in, and those that were throwing them in Even they themselves were scorched and died from the flame, for it was so great. Guess what? They were in there praising God. Not burning, praising God. Calling on Christ. You understand? For great is God. Azariah singing his song. And they walked in the flames. You know, when they all came out, they didn't even smell scorched. They were safe. Do not worship the beast. Because what will come next? Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Comes like a lamb, but he's a dragon when he speaks. Remember, there will be much blasphemy, much wickedness. It will all be against God, not for God. And he exerciseth all the power, not some and most, all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh the fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So there will be someone who will do great wonders before people's very eyes, and they'll be like, nah, don't be deceived. For there will be much deception in the end times. Because what's it say next? And deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. So these things they can't explain that he's doing, he's deceiving them. It's a lie, it's a trick of some sort, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So he's going to have them build an image, like a statue of some sort. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. A false prophet. This image that is coming. The chatter about AI becoming sentient. The brain computer of 7 billion, the black cube. Or the statues being built known as the giants are coming, 10 stories high, both able to move and speak and progress an image upon it. All sounds a bit familiar. Something is coming. Are you prepared? Remember in Revelation, where he worships a God that no fathers before him had worshipped before. Who could this new God, little g, who could it be? I do wonder. Remember, their signs and symbols give them away. A world controlled by AI. The man known as Musk. He tells you, oh, AI is dangerous. But then he goes and builds it. Tells you, oh, I don't trust it. But then he makes it. Says one thing, does the other. You know them by their deeds. And they give themselves away. So you know, all nations, all races, all tribes, all peoples, young and old, will be made to take a mark. A beast will come with great power, great authority, make war on the saints. But just as in Daniel, those that know their God will do exploits. You stand steadfast in Christ. Don't trust what they are bringing to the forefront. The world is in chaos and mayhem, but God is in control. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Be faithful unto the end. Endure unto the end. Faithful unto death. Do not love your lives unto the death, for you have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Remember, they have many, many guillotines already. Back in, what was it, 2007, 33,000 I was aware of at that time. But what about all the plastic coffins? They have their schematics and their plans. They've been waiting. It's on its way. Are you prepared? Are you aware? Well, trust in Christ. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one get to the Father but through the Son. So you trust in Him. You stand steadfast. You be of good courage, and you do not fear. Be aware. Be strong. Be prepared. Do not be blind. Do not be led by men, but trust in God alone. Ask, you receive, knock, the door be answered, seek, and you shall find. So make sure you're knocking, make sure you're seeking, make sure you're asking. God's there to give you all that you need. He'll help you through. Trust in Him and not in men. Remember, He's there with you every step of the way. And though you will have tribulation, be of good cheer. Jesus overcame the world. God bless every one of you.